Today I want to talk about biohacks to combat biological warfare, and that's fear, F-E-A-R. I feel like the biggest war that's really going on right now has to do with the fear that we may have in our mind. And fear is the number one, or the most potent emotion that can truly lower your immune system. Fear, no matter where it's coming from, is not conducive to our well-being, nor to having a strong enough immune system to fight whatever it is. If fear is the common element, then we really want to do what we can to dissipate that. So fear, again, it carries the lowest frequency. And as it lowers our frequency and our energy, it lowers our immune system. And throughout all of mankind, throughout all of history, the number one thing that has been able to help people to heal is having an incredibly strong immune system. So that's why it's so important to alleviate or reduce any fear, dissipate any fear we may have. In fact, the statistics show that right now, the news is reporting 75% or more images of, they're covering like violence, the images that are not conducive to feeling good in our body. There's actually scientific studies that actually show certain images weaken our immune system and certain images strengthen our immune system just by images we see. And so if we're watching and seeing a lot of images that are not conducive to our well-being, it may put us in a state of fear and weaken our immune system. So, you know, these images of violence, of ugliness, or even witnessing verbal attacks and all that. It's not ignoring things that may be going on. It's being able to make sure that you're getting enough of these uplifting images and experiences that are allowed to enter your brain. Your brain can process consciously about 4 pieces of data per second, 4 on average, compared to your unconscious mind, which can process up to 400,000 pieces of information per second, unconscious. That's why it's so important to be aware of what you're watching, what you're listening, who you choose to be around with, because even if you may not be aware of it on a conscious level, your subconscious mind is taking it all in. So you want to make sure that it's conducive for your well-being. So biohack number 1, act as if. Act as if you are responsible for your life. Even if you don't believe it, even if you don't think you are, pretend. Act as if you are. What have you got to lose? And if you were 100% responsible for your life, or even 5% responsible for your life, what change would you make? What changes would you make? What would you do differently? What could you do differently? Even just one thing. So act as if. I think of the ruby shoes. I think of Dorothy in The Wizard of Oz. She kept searching and searching for solutions. And she realized that she had the power all along. It was within her. And it's within each and every one of us. And so it may be ruby shoes you put on, maybe it's ruby sunglasses or something else, whatever's going to help to put you into or shift you into that mindset that you do have the power to create your life, which means you have the power to make a change today that would improve your life. Like, you have the power. You get to change your life. Number 2, replace any negative thoughts, negative talk with more positive or well-being thoughts. So for example, it's being aware if you say things like, oh, I'm sick and tired of this, or I feel so sick, I feel so tired, or my bad, or I can't do this, I don't know, it seems kind of impossible, I don't think things are going to change in this world, I don't have much hope. Instead of things like that, and you may not, great for you if you are already, saying a lot of positive things, kudos to you. So instead saying things like, I can, and it's okay if you're not sure how, just repeat it. I can do this. I know I can do this. and leave it up to God, your higher self, the universe, to figure out how that's going to happen for you. Trust that it can happen, especially if it's for the betterment of you, your well-being, and for the betterment of society at large and their well-being. It is possible. I feel healthy instead of I feel sick. I'm healthy and I'm going to stay healthy. So repeating those kind of thoughts in your head. Or I feel stupid. This is when I hear people say, oh, I feel so stupid. I can't believe I did that. You might say, you know what? It may have not been the best choice, but I did the best that I could at that time. Replace any lower vibrating thoughts, negative talk, with more positive and self-affirming thoughts that bring you up, raise you up, and then raise up others. Because when you say negative things about other people, it actually has been shown that it weakens your body. It weakens your body. So you really want to be careful about what you say to yourself and what you say to others, and make sure that it's a higher vibrational thought and it's kind. And it's a biohack later on down the list. So number 2, replace negative talk with positive talk. Number 3, make sure you're using that breath. So when you're feeling maybe more anxious or a little bit more fearful, find a place where you do feel comfortable, maybe taking the mask off, if not keeping it on. Ideally, it's by a tree, because we have a symbiotic relationship. They emit the oxygen we need for our breath of life, and we emit or exhale the carbon dioxide, which is their breath of life. So as you're breathing in fully and deeply, use your imagination and imagine that the healthiest, cleanest, most pristine air is coming into your lungs, and it's filling your lungs, that it's healthy air, it's clean air. And imagine that pristine, sparkling air is filling every single cell of your body. And do that a few times and see if you notice a difference. And then when you exhale, imagine that any old stale, toxic air or any worry or fear is actually leaving your body. And notice if that makes a difference. Again, anytime you may feel like you're feeling anxious, slow down, take a couple breaths, and imagine that. Biohack number 4, gratitude. Yeah, we talk about it all the time. Yet when things are really getting like, sometimes we forget that. And especially when things are not going our way or they don't seem like they are, we sometimes forget about that. So it's really important to maintain yourself in gratitude, especially when you're not feeling like you have things to be grateful for. That's when you can stop, maybe look around. Oh, wow, I'm so grateful for my husband. Or maybe you're grateful for the husband that passed because of the memories you have. There's always a way you can shift it and look at it differently. I'm grateful that I have easy access to food that I can buy and have for my home. I'm grateful that I can walk to the store. I'm grateful that I have the means to get that food and that I know how to cook. Things like that. I'm grateful for my children. And gratitude even for maybe something that hasn't happened that you want to bring into your life. Whether it is that healthier person, that healthier body. Gratitude for things that maybe even haven't happened yet. So you might say, I am so grateful for my healthy body. I'm so grateful that this leg, maybe the leg that's bothering you right now, feels amazing. So that's back to number 1. Act as if you already feel great with whatever body part or part of your body that doesn't feel great, and give gratitude as if it does. And then just by transmitting that thought, you will begin to attract it actually feeling well, or you will attract circumstances that will guide you to change your behaviors in such a way that it will allow you greater health. Number 5, socialize. Again, it doesn't matter whether you have a mask on or not. If you have this fear, if you don't want to get together with people, you can socialize virtually. Many of you are doing that. So you can socialize through Zoom. I know many friends who are not comfortable socializing in person. And so that's a way to do that. You can socialize in person. The synergy of a group. And when you do socialize, make sure it's with people that lift you up, that where there's lots of laughter, it's fun. And so with the laughter and fun, that raises your vibration and strengthens your immune system. Laughter really is the best medicine. So that's another way to combat any fear or any ill health, is to have fun, to laugh, to hug, to have that physical touch. And again, if you're not comfortable hugging, imagine yourself doing it. Imagine it as if you are hugging the person that you love. And studies have shown that even imagining it and visualizing things like that have an effect in bringing that into your reality. You can have that effect of improving your well-being. So whatever is comfortable for you, this is why these are biohacks for everybody for where you are at. Number 6, be kind. Be kind to you, be kind to your body, and be kind to others. And if we're judging people, if we're judging ourselves, we're not being kind. And guess what? When you say things about other people, whether it's your friends, whether it's a family member, whether it's the leaders of our country or other countries, we're actually weakening our bodies, our immune system. So really be aware of when you feel like you need to say something like, oh, I can't believe that person said that. Oh, there's such a, I'm not even going to get into the things that I see and hear on Facebook and elsewhere, and things that I say, things that I'm thinking in my head where I find, ooh, I was judging with that person. So it's just an awareness of that, because judgment of others is often a reflection of that judgment we may be having for ourselves. And that's why it weakens our immune system. And we're also not acknowledging the connection that we all have, that we truly, truly are connected. And so that's why how we treat others will affect us. So treat others the way you want to be treated, and treat yourself the way you truly deserve to be treated. Remember that golden rule. Just be kind. Be kind. Number 7, nature. Make sure you're taking enough time to be in nature. Now, some of us may work jobs where, like, or you live in an area where you're not surrounded by nature per se. Bring the plants in. If you work in an office inside, bring the plants in. There are plants that can survive very well with limited light. Invite nature into your life. And again, you can go back to that imagining that you are in nature, around the trees, listening to the wind and by the ocean. If you can get out into the real nature, that's great. Get outside during your break, a respite, take a walk. When I'm feeling really like anxious and kind of afraid, I'm out the door. I'm taking that maybe 10-minute break, and then I'm back into doing what I was doing, working on whatever project. So really, really important. I've noticed I've needed to spend way more time in nature, and we'll get into another reason why that's so important, because of what is going on with our planet right now. Turn off your Wi-Fi at night. If you can, turn it off. It emits electromagnetic frequencies that are not conducive for our well-being and that actually weaken our immune system. They're called EMFs, and especially the 5G. It's helpful. We're able to get access to, it's faster speed. So it's not saying let's choose this over this. It's just choosing and limiting your time with the 5G, or imagining that it's not even harming you. What can it do to work in your favor? So there's this biohack there. If you truly believe it's not going to harm you, then perhaps it won't. So it's just limiting your exposure to that when you can, and especially at night, turning your Wi-Fi off, and limiting your exposure to cell phones if you can. And if not, then making sure you take a break, a respite, then make sure you're getting in nature without your phone if you can. Making sure you have time for just you. And with others, all of it's important. Biohack number 9. Choose, you get to choose. Choose what you listen to, what you watch, who you hang out with. Sometimes we don't have a choice with that, and that's where we can envision that. Just send love and light to those who you're feeling like maybe they're engaging in a lot of negative talk, and you don't feel like they're uplifting you. Then you want to do your best to maybe maintain your vibration anyways and model for them how to be more positive. Choose to be with people who uplift you. A lot of us are experiencing loss of friends we've had for years. It's okay. Or there might be people that don't want to hang out with you. I've had people that didn't want to hang out with me because they felt they didn't like my energy. They felt I was being negative. I get it. So choose to be around people who are going to uplift you. And when I said choose and choose what you listen to, because even there's certain types of music that will lower your vibration. You know, think of trap music. Trap music is called trap music because it traps you. It hypnotizes you, but not in a way that is conducive to your well-being. So be aware of that. Be aware of the lyrics. You want lyrics that are uplifting and loving. And the same thing with movies. There are more and more movies on Netflix that they're putting in more violence. Studies have shown there's way more violence. Unfortunately, violence seems to sell. So you want to make sure that you're exposing your mind, your brain, to images that are uplifting and conducive for your well-being. This is a really important one. Visualization. That gets back to act as if it's already happening. You're having gratitude for something that has already happened, even if it hasn't yet. Visualize what you want your ideal world to look like. What do you want a healthy world to look like so that you don't feel afraid? What would it look like to have a world where you don't feel like you need to be afraid, where you feel safe, where you feel healthy, where you feel joy, and you feel safe enough to hug people and be around people? What would that look like? Imagine it and engage all your senses. And do this every single day. You can even write it down. You might even put it on your mirror and say, oh yeah, that's what I want my world to look like. And then put yourself in that ideal world, that loving, kind, peaceful, healthy world. Put yourself in it like you're already there. Act as if. Really, really powerful. There are scientific studies that show the power of the mind. So use it in your favor. Choose thoughts that are going to be conducive for your well-being and that are going to strengthen your immune system. I want to share this because I think this is important, because judgment is something that we may all kind of fall into that trap sometimes, especially when somebody seems to have really hurt us. We are all God's children. We are all God's children. We heal by recognizing the divinity in all of us, that we are all God's children, that we are all connected, and it's together that we heal. Like, what can we do to raise all of us up and to heal those who have fallen or maybe have become misaligned with their path of love? Because when you do that, you haven't recognized the love within yourself. So it's really about all of us healing together and being able to forgive one another and those who have really seemed to hurt us. When we forgive people, we're giving ourselves peace, and we're recognizing the divinity in one another. With everything that's going on, just know that love is the greatest. It's not even it's a force, it's an energy. We can overcome anything, no matter what's going on out there. You want to call it a biological weapon, biological warfare. This is the fear we need to worry most about, and we can overcome it. We can heal from anything. So no matter what's going on in this planet, what's going on in our life, we can have a better, more loving, and peaceful life. It's up to each and every one of us. Peace and love. Thank you so much for joining. Please share if there's anybody that you think this could benefit or who may need to hear this. It is meant to be inclusive. It is for everybody. Everybody. And so if it resonates with you, you might want to check out my Abundance Academy course online, because these are the kind of things we talk about. It's showing you that you have those ruby shoes, just like, or the ruby glasses, or a blue t-shirt that you love, but you have the power within to change and have the life that you desire. It's your choice. Peace and love. Have an awesome, awesome, amazing day.